Hey folks, it's Ben. We're here for an unboxing slash starting video. I bought a brand new Subaru Robin or Robin Subaru 5.7 horsepower motor from Princess Auto. Still in the box, still in the plastic bag, haven't touched it yet, kind of waiting to make the video for that. And I've got plans for it, but what I'm going to do today is put it on top of this stand here, and I'm going to take this 3.5 horsepower Honda, and it's actually going on a small tiller, but for now let's just get to the Subaru. So I have looked at it, which is why the box is open, and it did have some styrofoam wedged in it, but this was ultimately all that came in it. I got some wood shavings on it, which is not cool because it's brand new. And I pick it up by the fuel tank because that's how I roll. There was a Power Fist motor, and then for like $10 more and about another horsepower, I could get a Subaru, which is fantastic. And in the box it comes with an instruction manual, which I've read lots of times on the toilet. And then obviously an awesome little wrench for the spark plug. And that's it. Oh, and there's a, it comes with a key for the shaft, because I think it has a 3/4 inch shaft. And of course you're going to want to put a pulley of some kind on that. So it comes with the key. That's fantastic. So I'm going to mount it on the mount over here, and then we'll take a close look at it, and that'll be pretty awesome. Now that I have it bolted down to this little bit of a chassis here, we can take a better look at it. OHC is my favorite word for overhead cam, and it does have a chain to drive that overhead cam. That's fairly cool. I don't think I've actually bought a new motor in a darn long time, to be honest with you. Might have been in the Troy-Bilt tiller. Is that the closest thing, because everything's nice and shiny. Here's the key. That should be 3/4 inch, I believe. It's built just like the Honda in terms of setup in regards to the carburetor down through here and the front controls that are here. That looks like we've got a choke, and we have open or close, I see, on the valve here. So that's open and that's closed for the fuel. Throttle from slow to fast, which is really loose. So I might have to tighten that nut so it's got some resistance to it, because that shouldn't be loose like that. And we're going to want to run it under the filter here. We should have a filter. Yep. Yeah, why is this so stubborn? Come on. There we go. There's a rubber. Nice clean pleated filter. Aiming in the gas can. Oh, I love the screens. Fantastic. Keeps crap out of things. And I don't know if that's in lieu of anything. And that's locked down. I actually didn't need to open that, but why not, right? There's nothing, no packing foam or anything in there. Anything else going on in the motor? I haven't checked it for oil yet, so I don't want to crank it over. It's got an on-off. On this side, it's got an off and an on switch, and it's a 2-plug, because I know, like on the Honda, somewhere on the side here, there's drilled an oil level switch. That's better for unattended motors, but this motor will typically be on a tiller, so there'll be an operator there all the time, so an oil switch is not needed for me. It might have oil in it. The neat thing I found out, is minimal. The neat thing I found out is you measure the oil by sticking it in like such. You don't actually screw it in to get the level. It's just a press in. That's cool how it's got the little square to make sure it goes in cool. We'll put some WD, we'll put some 10W30 in it. And we'll run it for the first hour maybe, or whatever, and then we'll change it, just because I know there'll be grit and machinings and stuff in there. That first oil change is probably the most important one. And there's the shaft there. Another, depending on how you operate the engine, one will be easier than the other. And there's an oil drain. Here's an oil drain. Obviously that the motor, like this had a 5 horsepower Honda on it, the drain is perfect over the hole, right? And like this mount is perfect for every small motor, but it gives me a way to transport them around and a little bit of mass so that it's not so vibraty. So that's pretty cool. Let's drop some oil on this thing, drop some gas in this thing, and fire it up for the very first time. Fuel and oil, in this case I'm just using an inexpensive 10W30 from Napa. Filled up to the rim with brim. Neat on the exhaust, it's also kind of diverted down, so we'll have to see how that works out on our tiller layout, which is where this end's going. And the thing about the fuel cap, I noticed it's only a quarter turn unit. It's got those little teeth that dig in, so you can fool around with that and then click and lock it in. Don't touch that. That'll be hot, full of oil, mostly gas, about 2/3 of a tank. It is end of season for me, so it'll probably get stored after we get it running a little bit. And then this nut here with all the washers on it, that is the friction nut for the throttle. So now that's stiff, so now no matter where I put it, it will stay. It was just too loose before, and I learned that from the Honda as well. After breaking that nut, you need it. So I'm able to fix it on the Honda, and this one just needed a little bit of tightening. So I'm gonna go ahead and tripod it, and then let's give it a girl. Now there are 1,500 ways to break in a motor. I'm gonna do it the typical loser consumer way, and I'm gonna fire it up and I'm gonna run it for a while and I'm gonna get it warm and I'm gonna shut it down. Then we'll probably run it again once we've got it mounted on our second video for the tiller, and then we'll probably change the oil on it. But I'm not gonna put it under load for 50% and run it for an hour to break in the rings and things like that. That seems like a great idea and I'm sure it works. But let's go ahead and take it as a case study of what happens if you don't do that. Because in theory, this needs to be a simple motor. And technology, you would think, has gotten these things far enough that I shouldn't have to do an excessive break-in period for this thing to just be an awesome motor. So that's where we're going with this. So I'm gonna go, and the fuel's been on, and I'm gonna go for choke, and I'm gonna go for a little bit of throttle, not a lot, and a couple pulls, slow, maybe churn a little bit of that oil around, and then we're gonna give her the old juice and see what she does. Oh, and I'm silly because, geez, I fell for it. You got to turn it on for it to start, don't you? I smell the gas. I'm like, what's going on here? I'll even put part 1 on this one. My big old MTD, poor engine died. So we're gonna take that off, do a little cleanup, see if we can put that Subaru on this tiller. That'll be fun. But until then, if you got any questions on the Subaru, stay tuned to the channel because there'll be a lot more videos for that. I'll do a time lapse or something, I guess. And catch you guys next time.